everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. We're drinking the Distinguished Tater Special. You might say, why are you so fancy? Why are you dressed up? Because it's a fancy night here at Bourbon Bill. It's Old Weller Antique time. 107 proof of wheated goodness. And not only that, but we're doing Old Weller Antique versus Store Pick Old Weller Antique. Is it worth the hunt for a store pick? So stay tuned to find out. So special shout out to my buddy Kevin again for loaning me his regular plebeian bottle of Weller 107. You know, the one you can get anywhere. Just kidding. It's hard to find this really in most places other than Ohio or Texas, so I hear. The gorgeous red label of Weller Antique 107 coming in at, you guessed it, 107 proof. 53.5% alcohol by volume, for those that like to go by that. Just a gorgeous looking bottle, really is. Now, I am going to say one thing that I noticed about these bottles. You see the line right here in the glass? That is the cheapest looking made bottle I have ever seen. Most bottles have a nice, seam or no seam. This bottle's got seams galore down both sides. Like, what are they doing? This is supposed to be Weller, the darling of Buffalo Trace. I don't get it. They're putting them in these cheap-ass bottles. So here is the store pick, which got the gold seal. This is a store pick from PA, the Fine Wine and Good Spirits, state-run monopoly on liquor here. Barrel number 74, which someone was most cool enough to look it up and ask Buffalo Trace, how old is this? And all those good fine details. Alright, so barrel number 74 is 6 years and 9 months. Little light. I hear these used to be 7 to 8, but I can imagine they're shortening up the years on these suckers to pump them out the door. Stave seasoning, 6 months. Recipe, obviously wheated. So if you didn't know, Weller is the wheated mash bill from Buffalo Trace. Barrel type, American oak. So, really, who cares about the rest? She's 6 years and 9 months old. There you go. So my first bottle of Weller 107 that I've owned is that store pick. Thanks again, Kevin, for supplying the regular version. So these are poured blind by my lovely wife, who you may hear ironing in the background. Might hear a few puffs of the steam from the iron. While I'm working, she's working, if you know what I mean. Alright, so, first up, the Blue Glencairn. You can't see it, but the color on these, identical, so don't you worry about that. Alright, let's take a sniff. Well, it smells pretty dang good. A little bit of, you can tell it's wheated. It's got that little bit of a wheater funk to it. Florally, I get a little bit of oak on this, a nice floral scent. I almost get like a little cinnamon on it too, and some cherries. It's got that Buffalo Trace cherry scent, the Luden's cough drop, if you will. All right, let's take a sip. Wow, it's pretty dang good. It's got a big cherry burst up front. The oak comes through. A lot of caramel. A little bit of a floral note in there, but the floral note's not off-putting at all. Whenever I hear floral notes, I kind of like, but this one's pretty good. Now, I just got to say this. We do batch these videos because I'm wearing the same shirt as you probably saw earlier in the week. And this MSRP $40 bourbon is better than that Yellowstone limited edition that we tasted earlier in the week, as in a little bit ago. Alright, we'll do one more of this one. Yeah, just very pleasant on the nose, I gotta say. Good stuff. Very sweet up front. The cherry comes in. A little bit of that caramel, a little bit of the oak. A little bit of cinnamon in through there. And some nice floral notes. Very good. Whichever one's in the blue glass is good. Alright, the gold. Let's give it a smell. Oh, a lot more fruit popping off the nose of this one. We got like pears and peaches. The cherry's in there as well, but there's just, it's like a fruit cocktail coming out of the glass on this one. Less of the cinnamon, less of the floral, way more fruit on this one. Let's take a sip. Wow, that one's a little better. So, a little bit different experience. It opens with some pears and peaches and just a little bit of a fruit punch in the beginning, and then mid-palate it like hits you again with some cherry, just some caramels and oak, and then it has a longer finish. It has about 25% longer of a finish than the blue glass. Let's take one more here. Wow, that is quite a different experience. I've never had a bourbon where, you know, it starts out kind of that mellow, the fruit, kind of like, oh, okay, maybe that's it. And then boom, hits you again. It's like whew, right back up with the cherry and you know, the caramels. Delicious. Winner tonight is the gold. She wins. All right, now both these bottles were $39.99. So we paid MSRP for these. Well, I assume. I have no idea what Kevin paid. He might have given a left arm for the other one. But store pick here was $39.99. MSRP. Definitely worth it. If you see it for $40, it's a buy. How much would I pay? You know, it feels like a $60 to me. It feels like a $60 bourbon. Drinks well. We're going to give that, an A-. Doesn't blow me away. But it's pretty good, well put together. At $40, it's an A-. If you have to pay like $100 or plus for this, kind of falls into the B category for me. Now, we need to see who won. So, let me grab the answer key. Got the old trusty answer key here. The winner in the gold was the store pick. You know, I'm not surprised. Generally, this is a general statement. Store picks are better barrels, slightly older than the shelf versions. Not all the time, but they can be. So, not a surprise that the store pick won tonight. If you have barrel 74, and you got, one of my PA viewers anyway, it's pretty good. So, I would say if you see a store pick, definitely pick it up. If you see a regular one, I would still buy it. But the store pick's got a little something extra going on that I do enjoy. What we have here is Maker's Mark Cask Strength. Readily available, $36 for a large bottle here in PA. So, price-wise, a tad cheaper. Findability, 100% better. Those Weller Antique store picks were sold online in PA. 300 bottles went in 3 minutes. Think about that for a second. They sold 100 a minute of that. And that's it. Who knows? Maybe months down the line you'll see another one. I know those are hard to come by. So, but these Maker's Cask Strengths are not. Also wheated. This one comes in at 110.4. So we're only like 3 points off. 3 proof points off. Let's give this a quick comparison. I know it's not blind anymore, but let's see if I can get this cork out. Jeez, it's tight. Put it into the clear here. Alright, we're going to compare that to our winner, the gold, which I better pour a little bit more of. Ooh, not a bad cork pop on that. Alright, we got the old Makers here. Give it a swirl. Maker's Cask. Available everywhere. Let's give it a sit nosing. It's got more of like a dank aspect to it. It's got that dank maker's funk to it. I get like a lot of tobacco. Just darker notes on here. It's definitely not floral. Definitely less oak. Very heavy on the tobacco. And a lot of caramel coming through on this. Now, makers are 6 years old. So, in terms of age, the store pick we know is 6 years and 9 months. This is 6 years, and could be some odd months, we don't know, but it's at least 6 years. Alright, let's take a sip. The Makers is very good. Big pop of that, like tobacco, a lot of caramel on there. Very good. Very good. It's a little bit more powerful. At only three proof points more, drinks about 10 hotter than that Weller. Let's go back to the store pick one here. Just, more fruit up front. No tobacco at all. Let's take a sip. The Weller is very good. It's going to come down to what you like. But I will say this. They're not that far off. They are different in flavor profiles. But in terms of, what grade will we give that and whatnot, the Weller's not considerably better than that Maker's Cask Strength. It's just different. It's got the fruit, a little bit of cherries, where the Maker's got more caramel and it's got, a little bit of tobacco on that one. They're not that far apart. I would really give them the same grade, about same pricing. So really, if you're having trouble finding the Weller, just go get a Maker's Cask. I know a lot of people say that. It's not going to be exactly the same, but if you want a wheated bourbon, it's nearly just as good. But other than that, get yourself a Weller if you see it. They are delicious. So if you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Have a great evening, everybody.